Anyway, I want to chime in on this one because I think the law enforcement and even FBI is being wrongly persecuted as far as it pertains to Kiely Rodni. Okay, so here I go. I'm also going to show where the car was found because people only show close-ups, they don't actually show the area. And I'll tie this in with Kenny Veach. And now I'm re-robbing some of this video from Michelle After Dark, what she robbed. And I'll let this play, but I want to point out a couple of important concepts. Where it comes to searches, like someone goes missing and they could be found alive with a broken leg, and helicopters fly over, the goal is to find them alive. Okay, and the guy points out that a helicopter flyover, there's bushes, your odds of finding someone are 5%, because there's bushes, all kinds of stuff, let alone a lake where a person could be down in the lake in a car, whatever. Okay, so let's get to the point. When it first happens, helicopters come racing. They don't know, somebody could be out here injured in the desert or whatever. The goal is to save the person alive. After that, here's an important concept, and stick with me on this. Okay, now they knew the situation, that she likely was in the water, that everybody, all the tweakers were overly drugged up, and she likely could be in the water along here, which she was. Okay, now if that's the case, law enforcement should not focus on sending the FBI and squadrons of hundreds of expert divers with sonar here to find the car. They did search within reason. Okay, now this place where the car was found, you got to remember the water was higher up. It was much higher up, and so when she was blacked out or whatever, and the car drifted down into the water, that it could easily have rolled downhill or went downhill nose first, and then when it got to the bottom of this hill, the car was there. Well, that's a goddamn big lake. So now suppose she's down there in the water. Well, there's no hope. There's no hope. And this can always be searched later by teams such as that one team did. Well, cops don't have that. And the cops pointed out that the search team that found the car, that's their thing. That's their one thing that they focus on. Well, law enforcement doesn't. They don't have that kind of resources. They apparently did go out, search around. They didn't find the son of a bitch. Remember, the car was upside down. And so even floating along on the surface in scuba gear, looking down, that the water at that time where she went missing was 2 or 3 feet deeper. So now the 12 feet becomes like 15, 16 feet, and the car is upside down. Now suppose they float along, scuba gear, snorkeling, and if they see something, then they take the snorkel out, put in the regulator, and dive down. Okay, but it was upside down. There would have been a dark object upside down that they wouldn't necessarily have spotted. So now, person goes missing. What do? Where do you put your resources? Okay, if she is down here in the car, that searchers will eventually find her, but they're not going to find her alive. Is that where you put your resources? And everyone, FBI goes up there and rushes like maniacs, scour every square inch, all over the place. And remember, the car could have drifted in. She clearly was blacked out, and it drifted down the hill. Why no tire tracks? I don't know. But also she could have drifted in down here, blacked out, drunk, wanted to sleep some of it off, whatever. It could have been here. So you've got this big goddamn lake, and then now in retrospect, the car is found here, and all the tweakers and everybody was parking up here, doing their thing all over the place in the goddamn woods. And so you have all these various areas. Well, they can't, this is a goddamn big lake. They can't go all over and search every goddamn thing. And like he pointed out, the dive team, I'm tongue-tied right now, I don't like narrating, but the dive team, like he said, that's their one thing. They do nothing else. They do nothing else. So they arrive with advanced sonar equipment, go back and forth, and do find the car. And then everybody says, well, why didn't the police find it? Okay, there's budgets, stuff like that, but above all, the point I want to get across is that law enforcement looks at, okay, suppose she is down here, or a missing person. A missing person in any other case. Suppose they're down here and it's hopeless. Well, they know that's not a top priority, and so the proper thing to do is what they did was to, let's assume it's a kidnapping. Then you start looking at the gas station cameras, you go all the way down to Mexico, you look at anybody trying to get into Mexico, suppose she had been took down, kidnapped as a sex slave. You do that first. You do that first. Okay, now the one person reported that in Phoenix, it's right on the path down here. I saw the license plate in the car. We both saw it. Me and my dad both saw it. Anyway, she was full of shit. Okay, so you do that. You do that first. You cordon off and you do this. Check the cameras, stuff like that. Because if the person, whoever it is missing and in the bottom of a lake, that's no rush. You're not going to go rushing and find them and save them. So I think they did correctly, and they're good people and did what they could. You know, so now it turns out that she was found right here, right where the car would have drifted down, obviously in drive, motor running, maybe with heater going, and she fell asleep, and it drifted down here, kept going downhill, and the car was found there. Well, why didn't they go there? They did. They did. And even the special team had to use special equipment, and the police department is not necessarily equipped like that, nor do they have the budget for it. And so I just think they're being wrongly persecuted. I really do. And they also know that actually cases like this, suppose a person is down here, there's no hope, you're not going to find them alive, that often independent searchers do find people. Most bodies in the desert, for instance, are found by random people and independent searchers, and that's what occurred. They likely took that into consideration. But that's a goddamn big lake, and she could have drifted down here. She maybe sleeps some of it off, falls asleep. The heater is gone. You know how you get tired, and the heat's going, you feel great. Remember, it would have been cold, like 12:30 or 1 up there at this Alpine Lake. She could have went in here. So there you go. Main thing is they did it right. That you want to try to catch the person alive, not a body recovery. So body recovery is not a top priority with the police, as it was not with Kiely Rodni. With Kiely Rodni, they go up, they fly over in their helicopters. Well, everybody already knows the odds are slim, fly over in a helicopter and find the person. But they want to find the person waving, a broken leg, whatever. And then after that, if it goes a week, well, if it goes a week or more and there's no hope, the cops are not mystery solvers to satisfy the YouTube public. They aren't. They don't have the budget for it.